Well, it's early in the morning, grab a cup and tune on in. Robert and Dave got that southern charm, let the laughter begin. From the morning funny to Maga Minute, ain't no better way to start your day the southern way, with a little joke and pray. We're just southern folks, talking southern things. Front porch swinging where the church bells rang. From Mama Said to Hum Day News, we keep it real with down-home views. Sunday morning in the Word, get that gospel flow. Prayer time calls, so let's let our troubles go. Come Monday night, Mama Said is bringing the truth. And when it's night talk with Dave, man, you know it's getting loose. We're just southern folks, talking southern things. Stories and sports where the good times hang. From SFP News to I Remember That, we tell it like it is, and that's a fact. Got our veteran of the week, gotta show our pride. Pets of the week, bringing love worldwide. Talking paranormal, digging true crime. Southern fried stories all the dang time. So pull up a chair, y'all, and stay a while. Ain't nothing like that southern style. From the morning show to the soundstage band, it's SFP Live, won't you give 'em a hand? So pull up a chair, y'all, and stay a while. Ain't nothing like that southern style. From the morning show to the soundstage band, it's SFP Live, won't you give 'em a hand?
Well, howdy everybody. Welcome to Friday night. It's time for Front Porch Talkin here on the Southern Fried Podcast. All you guys out there at Cornbread Nation, we glad you here tonight. Dave, you're muted. There you are.
You.
Oh.
I mean, I don't. If I'm not talking, it really don't matter, I guess.
No, I was fixing to ask you, how you doing, Dave?
I was just looking at all the streams and making sure everything was good, and so I had myself muted because I did.
Okay, that's okay.
Coming to you tonight on the front porch, which is situated right on the banks of the Southern Fried River. Yeah, from north to south. If you don't know where that river's at, you're losing out.
Yes,
we do.
It starts at the Mason-Dixon line and meanders through all the states, but especially Georgia.
Yes.
It's a nice, gentle, flowing river. It's very peaceful and tranquil.
Yes.
With gnats to eat and mosquitoes to swat. There's lots of snakes and alligators. You know, fun.
Fun stuff. That's right.
Be careful going skinny dipping because of the alligator snapping turtles. And that's the thing.
Hello, Miss Jenna. Hello to those of you in Instagram. And I'm sure other places which I don't see your name, but also X and YouTube, of which Barry is one. No package yet. There's a rumbler.
Well, I'll tell you what, if someone stole that package off your front doorstep, when they get home, they sure are going to be in for a big surprise.
Well. You know, maybe they looked at that package and they decided, hey, I might like to have some of this for myself.
Yeah. No, it'd have been more like, hey, I think maybe I'd like to have what? Maybe it had to go to Michigan first, like your hooks had to go through Florida. It may have. It may have.
All right, we got to set the tone for this show right off the bat. Say maybe,
Okay.
yeah, we got to set the tone for this show because there's going to be things that happen, and if we don't set the tone, they're going to go, "What's going on, Rob?" We don't have a theme, but we got some stuff we got to cover tonight.
Okay.
First of all, Steve from Half Pine Forge on the Rumble and X side, great friend of the show. We appreciate him so very much. And so the Celtic Blacksmith. Uncle Jeb had a video about him needing a love album, an album of love songs so he could get a girlfriend. So I want to play that little video of Uncle Jeb. That's going to set the stage because I do have one song. I do have two of the songs, and one of them I have a double. I did it in two different ways. So after we watch the video, at some point we're going to play these songs. So let's set the tone, Rob, and let's get Uncle Jeb in.
Let's do this.
Is that all right? Can we do that?
Yeah, we absolutely can do that. Let's do it.
Uncle Jeb, he really thought that he was trying to help Steve, and so we got to clean up his mess because all he did was say what he says right here, and it goes a little something like this. Uncle Jeb here, back for the Southern Fried Podcast, Cornbread Nation. I wanted to come back. I wanted to tell you, I saw that old Steve on there the other night. I don't know what I think he's doing. That should be my spot over there talking about music. What does a blacksmith know about music? I mean, really, come on, yeah. Well, you know what? I was thinking I'm going to help the old boy out. He's got that old long hair and, he's not a bad-looking feller. I mean, you know what? He ain't too smart. He hangs around with Rob and Dave. But I thought I'd give him some help here. He needs some help in his love life. I mean, I got girlfriends. I get girlfriends all the time. But he's over there banging and a clanging in that shop and on that smithy. Rob calls it the easy bake. Yeah, I like that, Rob. That's pretty funny. But I like Steve. He's okay. But I'm going to help you out, Steve. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to give you 10 songs here, about 10 songs, 9 or 10 titles, and you write these songs, and it'll be a best hit. It'll sell a lot of albums. Look at me, I'm old. An album, but it'll sell a lot. You'll have some money, and at least with money and a fancy car, you'll get yourself a girl. Well, here we go. Here's some songs from the Blacksmith album, the Love album. Love at the Blacksmith. Here we go. The first song you need to write, Steve, is called Forging the Steel of Love. Ooh, yeah, I like the sound of that. Number 2 is Anvil Smashing Heartbreaker. Anvil Smashing Heartbreaker. That's kind of nice, too, there. You got to have broken hearted love songs, so you can make up. And then there's one here, Horseshoes and Heartache, a lot of heartache, when you're trying to get yourself a girl. And then the next one is the Ballad of the Blacksmith. Kind of sounds like when you die or something. I don't know. But the Ballad of the Blacksmith. And I thought of that title. I thought that was pretty good. And then Ironclad Love. Yeah, that sounds like something out of the 60s. Yeah! All right, Ironclad Love. And then Hammering Out the Beats. Sounds like a dance song, right? Hammering Out the Beats. And then Smoldering Desire. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, you like that, don't you, Steve? Yeah. Smoldering Desire. And you're going to like this. I saw you messing around with them tongs. How about Tongs of Temptation? Tongs of Temptation. That's pretty good. Couple of more here. Here's your one, Stevie boy. Quench My Fire. Yeah, Quench My Fire. And then the last one, this is the one to close the album with, is Smithing Up the Night. Smithing Up the Night. Yeah, Uncle Jeb, trying to help you out, boy. You need a girlfriend. Quit hanging around Rob and Dave and get yourself a girl. I'm going to help you out. Uncle Jeb's here to help you out. And we're out. Get you some of that, boys. So out of that, we decided 2 songs needed to be made pretty quick. And tonight, we're going to play a couple of those for you. So that sets the tone.
This all day long.
That sets the tone. So we decided that Tongs of Temptation, we have 2 versions of this. Two versions of the tongs of temptation and the forging the steel of love. Woo!
I bet that was racy.
It's a smoker.
Okay, well, let's hear this first one here. The tongs of temptation.
All right. Are you turning it on? You want me to do it?
I haven't made it down there.
I can do it. Let's see. Let's do the rocker first. Tongs of temptation. This is the rocker version. Well, kind of rock. It's not heavy, but it's pretty rocking. Here we go. Actually, it's a sweet little song.
Sparks fly from the anvil. Heat kissed steel. Sweat drips down on a heart made of real. The hammer sings a song of yearning in the night. Forge burns bright, craving touch out of sight. Tongues of temptation gripping too tight. Hearts ablaze in the forge of the night. Battle may break, but desire won't bend. A heavy love that time cannot mend. In shadows deep where the embers dance, a fleeting glance holds a dangerous chance. Rough hands longing, a softness to hold. Blistered dreams burn harder than gold. Tongues of temptation gripping too tight. Hearts ablaze in the forge of the night. Metal may break, but desire won't bend. A heavy love that time cannot mend. This fire, it won't die. It scorches the soul. Blows fanned by knees beyond our control. Each strike drives the ache deeper within. The clang of lost louder than sin. Tongues of temptation gripping too tight. Hearts ablaze in the forge of the night. Battle may break, but desire won't bend. A heavy love that time cannot mend. This fire, it won't die. It scorches the soul. Blows fanned by needs beyond our control. Each strike drives the ache deeper within. The clang of lost louder than sin.
Little sultry song there for you, Stevie boy.
Yeah, there's one.
Let's do the country version of that. Well, that's the female version. Let's go male country.
He's liking that one.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, it says, I kind of like Ballad of the Blacksmith, honestly. Sounds pretty cool.
We're going to have to do one for that one. I actually like that one too. I don't know how that would go, but it does have a nice ring to it. Let's listen to the country version of Tongues of Temptation. Ooh, as Uncle Jeb would say.
The forge is burning red and bright. Sparks fly off into the night. Hammer strikes a rhythm true, but it ain't the steel that's burning through. Her shadow falls across my door. Through the heat I crave her more. The iron groans beneath my hand, but it's her touch I can't withstand. Tongues of temptation pulling me near. Her fire's a flame I can't help but fear. Though my heart's an anvil, heavy and strong. With the tongues of temptation, it won't be for long. Her dress is rustling like a breeze. Shivers crawl up past my knees. Her eyes cut deeper than the blade. In her gaze my soul's betrayed. With yellow side the embers glow. My will fades with each shadow show. A blacksmith's strength won't shield my name from the white-hot heat inside this flame. Tongues of temptation pulling me near. Her fire's a flame I can't help but fear. Though my heart's an anvil, heavy and strong. With the tongues of temptation, it won't be for long.
Won't be for long.
The tongues of temptation, it won't be for long.
Yeah, baby.
Tongues of temptation pulling me in. Is that maybe it should be thongs instead of tongs?
All right, to balance it out, the real rocker, Forging the Steel of Love.
Oh Lord.
This sounds
This
like
is gonna be
Steve.
racy.
This sounds
one's
like
gonna be-
Steve right here, Forging the Steel of Love. Here we go.
Hammer strikes and sparks ignite pain and fire. Heartbeats against the anvil, raw desire. Molten steel flows like the dreams I chase. Your shadow haunts this scorching, burning place. Forging the steel of love with every swing. Chain me to the heat, the anvil sings. Sweat and fire, call your name in the flame. This molten heart will never be the same. Smoke wraps around me like a lover's arms. Your whispered voice drowns out the forge alarm. The bells echo how my soul does cry. Prisoner of fire, but for you I die. Forging the steel of love with trembling hands. Your whispered voice drowns out the forge alarm. The bellows echo how my soul does cry. A prisoner of fire, but for you I die. Forging the steel of love with trembling hands. Shaping a destiny I don't understand. Every blow loads the future's cruel decree. But I'll scorch the world to keep you here with me. The iron yields, but your touch holds me still.
Oh,
Oh,
Rages, yet nothing bends your will. Every spark's a memory we have to share. Even in the heat, I feel you standing there. Forging the steel of love, it burns so true. Through the pain of fire, I'm remade for you.
it almost sounds like you
Heart
dance
of
to
iron
Chicken
bound
Bell.
with chains that I make.
Feel
Rolling
love.
steel is for your love's sweet sake. Oh!
Really? Really? The big long exit? Oh, come on. Oh, oh, dude, that's kind of painful. Uh, No, I could just see the video for this. You know, Steve chasing after AOC. You know, AOC Scooby Dooing through the halls, and Steve just a chasing her.
Oh
I
my
can picture
goodness.
it. I can picture it. Oh
Oh
my
man,
God.
there's a lot in those three songs. Trembling hands.
I don't want to take away from that, but I just got a thing here from Dog Tag real
Yeah,
quick.
he
I'm gonna send an invite there.
yeah,
But
good invite.
those are amazing. Steve, I think Uncle Jeb may be onto something. I really think that you might ought to just go right ahead. You can use those and go ahead and just write some more songs to go with that. Make you a whole album.
I think it would be good to have the Smithy album. And I like Steve's idea of doing the Ballad of the Blacksmith. I think that's pretty cool.
He said,
Uh,
Dave, you're blushing more than I am.
I just got to thinking while we're doing this, I had Friday night. I mean, I was Friday night is friends on the front porch, and
Yeah.
we got this all set up. Uncle Jeb left the video. We got in there. I just had a conversation, with one of Kaylee's friends, mom and grandma, and they were asking me about the podcast and all. And I don't know why we led into that. I could just imagine them going to the store and pulling this up, and they're thinking, what in the world? What kind of a show we got here? Tongues of temptation. Hello, Dog Tag. How are you?
What's up, brothers? How are you all tonight?
Having too much fun.
You notice that I don't have trees or darkness behind me. So,
I noticed that.
yeah, I am at Fontana Village, just outside of the Smoky Mountains.
Yeah.
So I'm getting ready to do a big jump. I have to go do my medical treatment next week. So I've decided not to hike the Smokies until after I do my treatment. So they had sub-freezing temperatures up there last night, and they had snow up in the Smokies last night. My big concern is getting up there and not being able to have somebody come and get me to take me for my medical treatment. So I have opted to jump forward, and I'm going to start at the exit point of the Smokies and hike until I need my family to come get me. It's just easier for them to get me in some of the places north of the Smokies than hoping that somebody could come up Newfound Gap. Newfound Gap Road that goes up into the Smokies has been closed 3 times this past week. So
Wow.
I couldn't see going up there and taking a chance. And I just read several posts about people who were up there last night. They said the temperatures were in the teens and it was cold. So one of my wonderful supporters from my YouTube page said, Dog Tag, I want to put you up in a room at the village. So I am at the Fontana Village. I don't know if you've ever had the privilege of coming up here, but it's a pretty cool place. So I got last night off and tonight. So, and just kind of enjoying it and taking a few easy days, letting the legs rest. And I'm at just shy of 170 miles on the trail.
Yeah.
All right.
So
What's that make the percentage, or do you know?
Well, when I get to 220, it will be 10%, if that tells you anything. So we're probably somewhere in about the 8% range, maybe I'm guessing. I don't know. I'd have to do my Nevada math, and Nevada schools weren't very smart. So
1 plus 8 carries
yeah.
a 4.
Yeah,
But
we had announced that we thought you might be about 8%, somewhere in there. So
yeah. But yeah, if by the end of this week, I should probably be at 220 miles. I plan to do about 40 miles before my family picks me up. So if I do 40, I'll be just shy of 10%. So, and still moving. So, I can't complain. So starting to run into a lot more people on the trail. The younger crowd that started the first week of March or the middle of March, they're doing 20, 30-mile days. This fat old man can't do 20, 30-mile days. So I did do my longest day this past week. I did 14 and a half miles. And the next day I felt it. So, so they tell me do a long day, then do a short day, and then do a long day, and I'll eventually be able to start working up to some longer regular days. But you boys from Georgia should know that Georgia and North Carolina probably have some of the toughest parts of the trail, especially early in the trail. Because I met a guy 2 days ago on the trail. He and his wife are hiking the trail, and he's what they call a triple crowner. A triple crown is somebody who's hiked the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Coast Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, and the Continental Divide. And I had heard that the toughest trail of all those long distance trails was the Appalachian Trail. And of course, I wanted to hear it from somebody who had done them all. And the guy that was in the middle of finishing his triple crown, he was on the AT, and he said by far the AT is tougher than the Pacific Crest Trail or the Continental Divide. Even though those two trails are longer than this trail, they said that the terrain is so much harder on the Appalachian Trail. So made me feel good being as old as I am and as far along as I am, knowing that this younger guy, the kid is from Belgium. He and his wife are from Belgium, and they've come here and they each year and they've hiked the different trails. So, but definitely made me feel better, So
Yeah, you'll eventually get into the flatlands.
Yeah, they said eventually. Of course, they say Virginia is the easy, but the one thing that I'm going to do, and I've decided to do, it's going to kind of sound strange, but when I get off trail next week to go do my treatment, after my treatment, I'm going to go to Virginia in the Shenandoah National Park, and I'm going to hike south. And I call it a modified flip-flop. There was another term somebody told me it's used on the trail for people who can't make up their mind whether they want to go north or south. But I'm going to hike from there and try to hike all the way into Damascus, Virginia for trail days in May. I think I might have mentioned it to you all before, but that's the plan right now is to, after I finish my treatment on Thursday, Friday, I'll go to Shenandoah National Park and start heading south. So the miles should be a little bit easier than here in Georgia and North Carolina. But here lately, that last section we did from the Knock, which is the Nantahila Outdoor Center, to Fontana, a lot of blowdowns, a lot of trees down. If you watch one of my recent videos that I just posted, I show a picture of a tree that's, that was too big. You couldn't go around. So you had to crawl underneath it. And this big fat man crawling underneath with this backpack, was one challenge. And then there was another one. There were two trees, probably, I'm going to guess, at least 20 inches in diameter each one. And they were stacked on top of each other across the trail. So you had to try to work your way over the top of that one. So there has been a lot of blowdowns. One of the guys that had been into the Smokies, he told me that from the Newfound Gap out to the northern end of the Smokies, he hiked it when it was covered with snow and all the blowdowns. And he said that he was basically using his mapping device to find his way out of the Smokies because you couldn't even see the white blaze on any of the trees because there was snow and the trees were all blown across the trail. So,
Wow.
like I said, that was better part of valor for me is to step away from the Smokies, go up and do Virginia, and it'll allow the trail maintainers an opportunity to clean that section up, as well as the sections in North Carolina and Tennessee that have still been affected by Helene. So they did just put out this last week that they're in Irving, near Asheville, Tennessee, where the river washed away the bridge. They have approved what they call an aqua blaze. There's a rafting company that's going to actually ferry you across the river there instead of having to walk the 3.5 mile road trip around that section.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, there's some funds that the ATC got that people donated after Helene to help clean the trail up and help with the trail maintenance. And they're using part of those funds to pay a rafting company to do that ferrying this summer for people to go across there. So you don't have to walk that 3 miles. It's a pretty hazardous area because they're doing a lot of, I guess there's a railroad trestle that got washed away, and they're doing a lot of reconstruction on that section of the road. And there are these big dump trucks that are running up and down these roads that they had hikers hiking on. And I guess somebody from the ATC went up there and walked it and realized, oh, better part of valor is instead of having these people walk this 3.5 mile section, let's just float them across the river. So we'll all get to Aqua Blaze, a short section. There's a section up in Maine that they do the same thing.
Guys, just 1 minute. Give me just,
yes,
y'all, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I was just thinking how beautiful that Shenandoah Valley is. And do you know how that trail, is it closer to one mountain range or the other? Or how does that work up through the valley there in the Shenandoah Valley?
Well, it still runs in through the mountains. And of course, right there in Shenandoah National Park, it runs right next to the Blue Ridge Parkway. There's a road that goes right up the mountains. And through the Shenandoahs, some of the hikers actually hike the road versus the trail because on the road you get all these beautiful pullouts. I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to go up to Shenandoah National Park, but they have all these beautiful pullouts that you can pull out, and then you get all these wonderful views. Well, when you're hiking the trail, you're right below the Blue Ridge Parkway, so you miss a lot of the beautiful, view spots that you get. So I hiked it a lot last September, really enjoyed that section. And so what I'm going to do is go back to where I left off, or kind of started just below where they call Big Meadows. And I'm going to start from there and hike down because as a purist would say, the section I hiked last September is within 12-month period if I finish in September this year. So if I decide I don't want to hike that 60 miles I did last year, I can avoid that, but I'll play that by ear after I get this section done. But yeah, it basically runs the Shenandoah, the mountains up there, and not as drastic ups and downs through the Shenandoahs as there is in Georgia and North Carolina. So I'm planning for 8 miles a day from where I start will put me into Damascus right at trail days. And that's counting no zeros. So my whole thinking with doing some of my math in my head that I will probably have many days where I do more than 8 miles a day, and it'll allow me to take a few zeros in there and, just be able to make the trip. So, and I think it'll help develop my leg strength in that section. So that's the plan.
How do you feel so far? I mean, how
other than the one fall that I took on Standing Indian Mountain and kind of screwed my knee up a little bit, my knee's gotten to feeling better. As long as I wear my knee braces, because like the last 2 days I've been walking around here in the village without my knee braces on, I can definitely tell when I don't have that extra support on my right knee, the one that I folded up underneath me. But I, you're a little tight and tired when you wake up in the morning. But once you get to moving, after I know it's going to sound strange, but I kind of like to always start with an uphill slog in the beginning of the day versus a downhill, because I've noticed that I have more pain and suffering going down than I do going up. And it's just that constant pounding when you're stepping down. And, it'd be different if it was just a nice gradual slope down, but, I've yet to find those areas. It's usually you're stepping through rocks and, one place you'll have a 18-inch drop that you've got to step down into, and then the next minute. And the biggest problem that I've had walking is there's so much leaf coverage from the fall of last year. There's places where your leaves are 6 inches deep, and you're walking through these leaves and you can't see this wooden stump underneath it, and you trip over the stump, or the rock underneath it and you trip over it. There was a section day before yesterday called Jacob's Ladder, and it is a climb like this. And when you're climbing it, the leaves are so deep in there you can't even see the trail, and it was for about a half a mile that you're going. You felt like you were almost going vertical. And when I got to the top, I took a picture looking down, and you're steep when you can't see the bottom. When you're looking over the edge of the thing and you can't see the bottom. And so it was one of those climbs that when you got to the top, you were just happy to be there. And it's always great when you get to the top and you see these beautiful views. It makes it worthwhile. So,
What is something for you? Two things. One of them would be something that this far into the trail that you knew that you you thought this is an area that I look forward to seeing, and it lived up to it. But also, what is an area that surprised you and you'll never forget it? It's just something that stands out this far in it. You'll take
well,
with you in your soul, in your heart, and you'll say, "Wow, that was a moment." If you
well,
could.
there's a place that I just went over this week called Wyan. I think it's called Wyan Bald. I got up there and it was early in the morning, and you look out and, you wonder how things get their names. And, the Blue Ridge Mountains, you go, how did the Blue Ridge Mountains get their name? But when you look out over these, you see these various mountain ranges, one behind the other, and they're all different colored blues, light blues, dark blues. It was just incredible. And one of the other hikers that was hiking with me, his name's Optimus, and he was, hey, Dog Tag, you ever wonder how the Blue Ridge Mountains got their name? This is why. And you looked, and it was just incredible. It was just incredible. There was another bald that we went over called Wesser Bald. And on Wesser Bald, they have an old fire tower there that they've taken the top building off of it, but there's a platform up there, and you get to go stand up there on this platform, and you can see into the Smokies, and just incredible. I mean, you wonder when you're hiking up these hills and you go, is it going to be worth it? Is it going to be worth it? I tell you, I have not yet to be disappointed. When you get to the top, you take a few seconds to catch your breath, and then you look around, and it's just beautiful. I mean, some of the sunrises, a lot of people who hike it, I have been finding that they like to not camp at the shelters. They like to go to the tops of these mountains or the ridges, and that's where they camp at night, because they get to see the sunset and the sunrise, and it's just incredible. Some beautiful views that we've seen. And, I mean, the thing that I probably have been most impressed with is just the people that you meet on the trail, not just other through hikers, but the people who are out there doing their day hikes, or they're sitting at doing the trail magic. It's just incredible. We went into the knock, and I was sitting there after coming into the NOC, and I was tired. My legs were hurting from coming down the hill, and I was sitting there, and a guy come walking by, and he had a fire shirt on, and I go, hey, brother, are you a firefighter? And he goes, oh, yeah. And he was older like me, probably in the same age. Got to talking, and next thing I know, he wants to buy me a beer, and I'm just like, this is incredible, and people will, it's like I said, somebody reached out to me and said, hey, Dog Tag, I'd like to put you up at the Fontana Village. And, I I'm not doing this for people to do nice things for me. And as I told you, my fundraising has been for helping other people. But when somebody's nice enough to, I call it, they always say the trail provides. And, taking a nice day off and enjoying a nice day off, sitting around here, the day that I came here yesterday was the first day they opened their breakfast buffet. And of course, the worst thing you can tell an AT hiker is, hey, there's a buffet in town, because it's an all you can eat buffet. And you go in there and, when you've been eating trail food for a while, and then you go in there and get an all you can eat breakfast buffet.
Wow.
That was incredible, so
I bet.
I don't know if I answered your question. I probably danced around it.
No. You did, because I think that's what I just wanted to hear was what you're saying is things that you will walk away and you're saying, I'm not going to forget that. That was great. I knew that was going to be great, but I didn't know about this one over here, and that stands out as well. And so, but he was talking about taking stuff, and I remember, I've been all over the country and a lot of it, and doing ministry and stuff, and humility will tell you, don't take gifts, don't do this. But I had a very wise man tell me one time, as a preacher, and he said, listen, he said, I know everything within you says, no, I'm good, I don't need it. But he said, if you don't take that, you cheat them out of their blessing.
Exactly.
They want to do this. You're not taking it, they're giving it. It makes them feel good inside to do it. And you're doing it from the right reason. You're not looking for it. It just happens. Exactly. And so I took a little bit different track on that. It's still not the easiest thing, but in the moment you're like, that would be awesome. I mean, absolutely. And it's just things like that you won't never forget either. The fellowship you have, like you said, talking to people that you never talked to before. And those will be conversations that you'll take with you for the rest of your life. And that's cool. I like that kind of stuff.
Well, it's wherever I stop. And of course, when I stop and I take my backpack off, I try to position my backpack so that my dog tags are facing out instead of laying them flat on the ground. And people will come by, and of course, the first question most people ask you is, hey, what's your trail name? And then of course I say, oh, dog tag. They go, oh, you must be military. And I go, yeah, I'm military, but I'm dog tagged because I'm the crazy guy that's carrying dog tags. And they go, what are you talking about? And then they look down and see all these big bundle of dog tags. And of course, then it opens the conversation up. And that's what's been fun. It's just to share this message with people, as to why I'm doing it and what I'm doing it for. And, I made a bunch of my dog tags that had my QR code on it. I'm down to 2. Actually, I was down to 1. I gave one away today. The lady took a picture of it with her phone, and then she said, hey, why don't you keep this and give it to somebody else? But it's been nice that I hand these, the QR codes to the dog tags to people. And then I'm seeing little messages either on my YouTube channel saying, hey, we met you on the trail, thanks for what you're doing. And, I kind of believe that, you pay it forward. There's that great movie called Pay It Forward. And, what I'm doing right now, I don't know. I'm sure at some point in my life, there'll be some blessings that will come my way. And it was funny. The other day I was walking into the NOC, had about 2 miles to go. And I was just like, this has been a tough day. I just want to get these 2 miles over with, And this guy caught up to me, and he was getting ready to pass, and we started talking. Well, his trail name is Preacher. And I go, so are you a preacher in real life? He goes, no. He says, the Lord sent me out on this trip, and he definitely talks a lot about how the Lord has provided for him, and the Lord, has encouraged him to walk the trail in one form or fashion. And so for 2 miles, we sat there and talked about a lot of things, and a lot of it was his faith and how his faith has played really strongly into his hike. And next thing I know, we were walking into the NOC, where had I been walking by myself, it probably would have taken me twice as long, but it was just, he was kind of walking faster than I was. And I said, hey, preacher, I said, the Lord's telling me I've got to stop and get a drink because it was going to be my only way to slow him down a little bit. And he goes, oh, well, hell, and we need to stop and get you a drink, you know? So then we stopped and we had a drink and then we carried on. But like I said, some of the days it seems, I don't know if when you travel, for me, when I travel, it always seems like that first 100 miles when you're driving seems to be the longest, second only to the last 100 miles.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that with hiking. The couple that I've been hiking with a lot, they're called Optimus and Dr. Quinn. They call it, we have fallen into the twilight zone because that last half mile of every day just seems to just drag on. And I just noticed that when I was walking into the NOC with Preacher, just having that opportunity to talk with somebody and carry on a conversation while we were walking down that hill just made those last 2 miles just seem to fly by so fast. And next thing you know, we were walking into the NOC and of course he had told me he had a room that had accommodations for 4 people. And he says, Dog Tag, if you need a place to stay, you can come stay with us. And I said, well, I've already made reservations to stay at another hostel, but you know, it was just nice for him to make the offer, you know, and that's just the way it's been. Every time I turn around, somebody's, you know, thanking me for what I'm doing. And then they, next thing I know, I look on my fundraising page. We're just shy of $1,000 and people just, you know, they keep wanting to offer. And I mean, I'm happy with the fact that I've only done 168 miles and we're at almost $1,000. I'm thinking that, you know, hey, when I get to 2,200 miles, I think we might stand a chance on reaching my $22,000 goal. So,
awesome.
So,
And we did get our stickers in. We've got to get you one.
yes, sir.
We just got those in a couple of days ago, so we're gonna get
Well,
that out to you.
If you can get them out, I'll be home for a couple days this next week, and then I will gladly put one on my water bottle and maybe leave a few of them along the trail, different places, you know. So because I've told people about your podcast, the hostel I was staying at last week when I came on, I was sitting in her room, in her day room. And when I got done, she asked me, she goes, who are you talking to, Dog Tag? I was like, I'm talking to 2 good Georgia boys that have a great radio podcast. And she goes, well, I'm going to have to start listening to that show. So, I'm trying to send some traffic you guys' way. And,
Appreciate that.
Yes, we do.
So
Tickled. It's a blessing to us, and we thank you for sharing your journey with not
Yes.
only us but our listeners. And you know, when you come on, our numbers really stay really strong too. So we appreciate that. And I was thinking when you said that, I got one last thing to say. We were talking about things that impacted you and everything, but I was thinking about all the different people you've just talked about and the many more, and how they're going to go away and they're going to tell others, hey, I ran into this guy on the trail. It's
yeah,
going to be that same thing, and it's going to multiply and multiply. And they're going to tell somebody. I mean, it's just, who knows where those tentacles will reach of your story getting shared out. I mean, you're impacting people that's going to remember this the rest of their lives too. That's incredible.
to me, the greatest impact would see the number 22 drop. You know,
Absolutely.
I mean that's the number that we need to fix. And
Yeah.
you know, it's incredible that I still talk with people about this problem, and it inevitable. They know somebody who has either committed suicide or has contemplated it, you know, and I think the more we talk about it, the easier it will be for people to open up to their demons, you know, that if something's really bringing them down, you know, it's just nice to be able to talk with people. And I just saw on the there's a Facebook page called the Appalachian Trail Class of 2025, and there's a group, and I don't hold me to the number, but they're it's a warrior to they all started together on the same day. It was military. They're all military, and it was a warrior foundation. The plan is that they've set them up with equipment, food to start the trail, and then they will all move north from there. And they say that they won't necessarily travel together, but it was just really cool. The one comment I did read that kind of surprised me is one of the lady veterans wrote in and says, "Hey, where's the lady veterans represented with your group?" Because it was a group of all men.
Yeah.
And trust me, I'm running into female veterans out here, and it's just, it's just a cool experience, because I don't think I've had a day go by where I haven't met at least one veteran. And we've talked about their story and what they did in the military. And, it's just, I was out yesterday when I was coming in, I ran into a Marine Corps veteran who was just section hiking. He's a school teacher in North Carolina, and he works with special needs kids. And it was just really cool to see this rough, gruff Marine, how he is out there helping kids in our society, And he says, if I could just convince these kids to join the military, it might bring some stability to their lives, And so it's kind of cool that all the things that veterans in different capacities that are doing on the trail. And, that's the thing that I value the most out here, is that evening time when you sit around the shelters or your campsites and everybody just starts sharing stories. The night before last, before I came into the village, I stayed in what they call the Fontana Hilton. It's the premier shelter on the trail. It's here at Fontana Dam, and it's a 2-story shelter, a beautiful, beautiful building. They have tables outside of it. Even has a solar power station so that you can power your phones and your banks and everything. And it's probably the only shelter on the trail that actually has a porcelain toilet. So,
Wow.
so they have plumbing and everything. It's just, they call it the Fontana. It's called the Fontana Dam Shelter, but it has become known as the Fontana Hilton, because as far as shelters go, it is by far a Hilton hotel on the trail.
I thought you were going to go down the crazy cousin Eddie thing about talking about the dam.
No,
I thought,
well,
it's going to have a funny name there,
Well, it's fun in this community here. They sure play up on that damn word, the damn garage, the damn, at the restaurant here, it's, the damn family. This is the damn family's restaurant, and so, they definitely play up on that damn word here in this area. So,
hey, Dog Tag, I got a thought for you.
Yes, sir.
If when you're going on this trail, I know you have some thoughts and some reflections and stuff. Before you start your day, maybe make a list and kind of make some notes of those thoughts. And when you get back, why don't you try to do some speaking engagements on this type of stuff?
Well, people have already started to ask me to come out and talk, and I was telling a friend of mine the other day that one of the things that the AT has taught me is about false summits. That when you're walking up a hill and you look up the hill and you think you've reached the summit, and you get there only to look that was just a stepping stone to the next summit that you got to go up. And so in life, we're often confronted with these false summits that we think we've achieved, the end game. But in the end, you're just one step closer. And that's one thing that I've really noticed out on the trail is that trail's full of a lot of false summits. Just when you think that, I finally gotten to the top, and then you walk about 30, 40 yards, and next thing you know, we're going up again. But I'm always open to talking to anybody, and a lot of people who through hike, they tell people, when you get done hiking the AT, you've got about 3 weeks that people will want to hear all your stories, and then after that, they're done listening to your stories about the AT. And then the only persons that really want to hear the stories about your AT is other through hikers, who can understand all the stories that the experiences that you've gone through. So, but it's just, I mean, it's just a story that there's a newspaper back home in Virginia that reached out to me this week, and it was funny. She says she'd been looking all over for the infamous dog tag, that she had heard about the guy doing the hike on the trail, and his name was Dog Tag. She even called the local sheriff where I live, trying to find this dog tag guy. Who is this dog tag? What's his real name? And so somehow she managed to get my email address, and she sent me an email. And so I've reached out to her a couple times, and we've been sitting at the top of a few mountains in North Carolina doing a little bit of shared information on my story. And she wants a backstory. And she goes, if you're interested, she would like to post a monthly, because the newspaper back home is a weekly newspaper. And she said it would be nice just to do a weekly update on dog tag on the AT. And I told her, I said, hey, just follow the Southern Fried podcast, because I try to check in with them at least once a week. Yeah. And, it's just been a great experience to be able to share the story and the adventure.
Awesome.
But, it's funny that a lot of people have different things that they do out on the trail. We were talking around the dinner table, around the shelter one day, and there were two couples, and it was funny that they both do the same things. They photograph the burls, on trees and the different shaped burls and everything. But me, I walk a lot by myself. The thing that I've found myself doing is looking for rocks the shapes of different states. And the mistake I've made is that I should have been photographing them all, because when I come across one that looks like a certain state, it's just cool. And the other day, I happened to find the perfect Virginia rock that looked just like the state of Virginia. And I should have taken a picture of it. But I think one of the things that I'm going to start doing now is that as I'm walking by myself and pondering all my thoughts in life, and I'm looking down, because I do spend a lot of time looking down at the ground, unlike some of these younger whippersnappers that can just fly like the wind. I have to look where my foot's going to land every time. And I notice that when I'm looking down, a lot of rock. And that's the thing I've noticed, that I look for rocks, the shapes of different states. So
cool. If you find one the shape of Robert's head, please grab that one for me.
I definitely will. Definitely will.
Man, that'd be a good looking rock.
Yeah.
It's really straight on the back of it, and it's kind of round after that,
Why you got a flat head for?
Yeah.
That's not very nice.
Well, like I said, there's some interesting hobbies that people form out here. I was walking, a lady come up behind me and she was singing, and it was nice because, often when you're walking by yourself and then somebody comes up behind you, they don't like to surprise you because, you're out in the middle of nowhere. There could be a bear walking up behind you. And so usually when they're about 20, 30 feet from you, they'll say, behind you. So then you'll look back and you'll see somebody behind you. Well, this lady, I could hear her singing behind me. And so I knew she was coming, but it was just really nice to listen to her sing as she walked by me. So, everybody's got their own little thing out there. So
I was just thinking, when you said that, one of these times you're going to hear that, and it's going to be that section of the trail that one of these ladies is just going all natural, and you're going to look back and it's going to be, whoa.
Well, I think I told you about June, right? June is the hike naked day. So we'll see. I don't know where I'll be in June, probably somewhere up in the northern part of Virginia or Pennsylvania, but who knows?
I might have to get up there on that trail in June somehow. Hey, can you drive me up there?
There ain't no way in Hades I'm taking you up there. I don't want that story coming back.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it might be one of the advantages of dog tag hiking by himself all the time. I can claim that I did it, and nobody will be around to say that I didn't. So
Well, one thing about it, if you hear me coming up behind you, and it's that particular day,
Yeah.
I look as good walking up on you as I do walking away.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've noticed that the sun has definitely, well, this time of the year with no tree coverage or no leaf coverage, I have gotten a little bit more sun on my face and my hands, but mostly everything else is covered. Um, but during the summer, when the sun's out in those open areas,
Mm.
might have to pull the sunscreen out. So,
Oh my goodness. Well, on that day you'll have to.
well, like I said, it doesn't say you have to hike all day to get credit. So I might do 100-yard section and then get closed back up. But you know, I don't think anybody needs to see any pictures of that. So
Dude, you know, you might be walking along out there naked on that day, and there'll be 1,500 Bigfoot sightings.
yeah. I don't know if you watched my video about the hunting dog that I found when I was climbing Mount Albert. There was a hunting dog that was lost. Well, I don't think the dog knew it was lost, but when I got close enough to the dog, I could read the number on the dog's collar. So I called the owner and I said, "Hey, are you missing a hunting dog or two?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "The tracker went off 3 days ago and we haven't been able to find her." And I said, "Well, I think I found her." And about that time, she starts to like a hound starts howling, and I did a video of it. And I said, "I think I found the elusive Bigfoot, because this dog is howling behind me." And, it was so funny. But somebody watch the video. It's pretty comical.
I'll have to
So,
check that out.
uh, but yeah, it's all been good. I can't complain. I'm looking forward to doing more miles. When I sleep at night, I feel like I'm walking. I don't know. It's like I dream about walking, which kind of is crazy. You'd think that when you sleep, you just want to rest. But when I sleep at night, sometimes I feel like I didn't cover enough mileage. And so I'm thinking I'm walking in my sleep. So, but fortunately, I'm not a sleepwalker. So,
Yeah, that's what I
but
was supposed to say. It'd be a bad place to go sleepwalking.
yeah, there's been some areas of the trail that's been pretty dicey out there. And, I look down the side of some of these hills and it's 150-foot drop. That it's not a vertical drop, but if I tripped and fell, I don't know if anybody would ever find me at the bottom of these hills. So
Dude, that looked like a scene out of Tommy Boy, wasn't it? Where he went rolling down the hill.
oh yeah, exactly. Picking up speed as I go. So
Oh, oh,
yeah. Yeah, that's when you hope that the backpack provides a little bit of the protection going down some of those hills. So, but yeah, there's been some.
Your other walking stick, did that come in?
I did. When I got where did I go into to get that? I think it was Franklin. The day that I helped, I think I told you the day that I helped the Scoutmaster from Louisiana off the trail.
Oh yeah,
They drove me into Franklin, and I was able to get a new set of poles. It was $130 for the poles. I sent my old ones home, hoping that I can contact the company. They say that sometimes the companies will either have a replacement part that they can send you, or they might even replace the whole set of poles. If I can get an extra, the part that I broke, if I can get a replacement, that'll be nice.
There you go.
And any more follow up on the dog tags that were found that were?
No, I have not. I've sent the information out, and we're hoping that we might be able to find who he is, because I'd really love to find him. And I'd like to know the backstory behind it, whether he was out there through hiking or whether he was just doing a section hike. And if so, did he finish? That's kind of what we're hoping to find. And I've got several vets that are trying to help me with the information. So we'll see. But I'll definitely let you all know that if we get the backstory. And I think it'll be another interesting story of dog tag's trip north. So,
Absolutely. Well, yeah, if we can, I don't know what we could do to help on that. You know, if you're through hiker or partial hiker and lost some dog tags, y'all send us an email. And
well, like I said,
yeah,
it predates the. Let me see if I can pull it out of my pocket here. It predates the use of social security numbers on military dog tags. So, but here it is. This is the actual dog tag. You can see it's an old military style dog tag.
you have a name on it.
It does, and let me see if I can read it with the light that I have. Sorry. It is the last name is Lombardo. First name is Nicholas J. And of course, it doesn't give a birthday or anything. Just says he was atheist and O positive in blood, and it gives his military at the time his military ID number.
All right, well, how do you spell Lombardo?
Hold on a second. Let me get it back here. It's sorry. It's Lombardo. I think it's probably like Lombardo, the Lombardi trophy, Lombardo, but it's a Lombardo. Is Nicholas J. So if anybody knows of it would be an older gentleman, or I'm sure he had been on the trail. Probably, I would say, he would have had to serve in the military. I'm going to guess in the 60s or earlier.
What was that number?
Oh, the service number?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see if I can see that.
Sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm going to try to do some research, see what I can find.
Yeah, I got to kind of look on my thing here. The numbers is 151-561-9182.
All right, make sure I got this right. 151-561-9182.
Yes, sir. Nicholas J. Lombardo. So it was found under the floorboard of a AT shelter, one of the shelters on the trail. He didn't remember. The guy who gave it to me didn't remember which shelter it was, but he was through hiking the trail and dropped something through the floorboards of one of the older shelters, crawled underneath the shelter, and lo and behold, there was this dog tag. So just an interesting, like I said, I'm sure there's a story behind him, and it would be incredible to, if he's not alive, but if his family was out there and would love to have the dog tag back, I'd love to return it to them after I get to Maine. So I've been carrying it with me, and I think it's going to go with me. But like it said, at the time, I'd love to give the dog tag back to the family, and I'd like to know the backstory behind it. Whether he was through hiking or just doing a section hike, but when it might have happened, when he might have lost the dog tag, I don't know. So it'll be interesting. So, but yeah,
I got a cousin of mine that might be able to help with that. I'll see what I can do. And the National Archives could be another way to go too, Barry.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yeah. So, but
awesome.
It's one of those things that has come my way, and I'm going to continue to carry it till somebody takes it from me, or until I get to Maine, and I'll give it back to the family. So,
that's incredible.
But yeah,
we'll see if we can help you with that.
Well, definitely. So, well, I just want to thank you guys for giving me the time to come on here and share more of the story, and
absolutely.
I'll try and have some good stories.
Hey, dude, just having you on here, getting the updates and what you're doing and what the reasons why you're doing it, dude, that's enough. That's great.
I do have one last question. If
yes, sir.
Just 30 seconds. Have you heard or seen anything that you went, what is that? Is animal or other? Like in the middle of the night, have you heard something you went, what was that? Or you saw something you thought maybe your eyes was playing tricks on you, like, did I just see what I think I saw? Because the woods can mess with you. I mean, it really can.
It definitely can. And I haven't had it this time, but when I hiked in the Shenandoahs last September, I swear I saw a bear, that was in the woods. Because it was a black figure that went through the trees, kind of stopped, and then kept moving. But it was far enough away that I couldn't really tell what it was, but I can only assume it was a black bear. But you never know. The infamous Bigfoot's out there, and
It could have been.
it could have been.
But you
It could have been.
don't
But
forget
there are noises at night that when you're laying in your tent and you hear things outside your tent. Oh, here's a funny thing: is the one night that I slept in my tent and I had snow. When I got up the next morning, I wasn't in the shelter, and I thought that the people who had stayed in the shelter were up there listening to music because I kept hearing this music playing. And so I finally got up out of my tent and went to the privy, and I walked by the shelter and there was nobody in the shelter. And I go, where's all that music been? And I could hear these trees that were by the privy that were rubbing together that was making what I thought was music. And it sounded like music, but it was just funny that I had avoided going to the shelter because I thought they were sitting up there listening to music, and it was not. There was nobody there. It was there was the trees rubbing together that were blowing together up there, and it was making music. And so that was one of the weird experiences there because I swear I thought and there's been times where I've heard trees rubbing. And they, I say that the trees are talking to me. Of course, I look around. We always have to be careful about what we call the widow makers out there.
Yeah.
The trees that come down on you. And so, when you hear those trees rubbing, that means they're moving. And so you might want to look up and make sure there's not one right above you. So, but that was the one experience where I heard something that I thought I heard, which I thought was music, but it was nature's music that was playing with the trees. So
great. I love it.
So,
Rob, Dog Tag, be careful out there. Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy your night indoors and be safe. Make sure you make your trip next week too. Now,
yeah, we will. And like I said, I'll check in with you maybe next Friday after I've had my treatment, and I'm in Virginia, back near the trail, and I can tell you where I'm at and where I'm headed. So, because like I said, my plan is to head south starting next Friday. So we'll see. And there's some places in Virginia that I can't wait to get to. McAfee Knob is the most photographed spot on the Appalachian Trail, and it's in Virginia. And I can't wait to get to that to see that picture. So
where's that? There's a haunted hostel in George Eastman's movie. Are you going to be stopping there? That's in Tennessee, isn't it?
I believe it is in Tennessee, and I will eventually get there, but it's not going to be probably until this summer. So I'm going to check with George and find out where it is exactly, because I know that was one thing he played up in his movie, about the haunted hostel.
We have footage from there. You have to come on. You have to set up an infrared camera. You have to get recording. We want the whole total.
Well, maybe we can schedule you guys to meet me there. We could all stay in the hostel together that night and check it all out.
We've got an engagement coming up in Camilla in July. I know that. So maybe we can hit it around June or August. That would be awesome.
All righty. Well, again, thank you, gentlemen, for giving me the opportunity to come on here. I always look forward to doing that and talking with you and updating you and just sharing some of the stories out there. And the people that I'm meeting are just incredible. Some of the names that we've gotten out there, trail names, STD. That was an interesting trail name that we gave to a guy. it started out as Single Dad. And then one of the other thru hikers said, no, we need to call him the Single Trail Dad. And it took me a few seconds to realize that that was going to be the initials STD. And so, when people ask you about your trail name, hey, how did you get your trail name? It's always an interesting story to hear the way some people get the.
Don't ask.
Yeah. Well, that one, I don't know if people ask, but they laugh when they hear that. They go, somebody's actually called STD. And we go, yeah. And then we tell them what it means. And then they go, oh, that's not what we thought, So met a young girl from Kentucky. Her and her husband are on the trail together. His trail name's Quickcrete because he does concrete back home. But I'm telling you, this boy, he was probably, I'm going to guess he's maybe 5'10", but he weighs every bit of 300 pounds when he started the trail. He looks like one solid brick. And his wife's trail name is called Twinkie. And she says that's because dynamite comes in small packages. It used to be a saying about Twinkies that dynamite comes in small packages. But it's just some of the trail names is comical to hear some of the people tell you about their trail names. And that's always a great story to have each evening is when you meet new people. Hey, what's your trail name? How'd you get it? Where are you from? It's just fun. That's the fun part of the day. So, but all right, gentlemen, I've taken up enough of your time. So the song that was playing, is that one of Jake's songs?
No, that's actually some songs we put together for Steve at Half Pine Forge. It was off of Uncle Jeb, who told him he needed to make some songs about being out there in the forge of blacksmithing. So we put a couple of them to music,
Help him find a lady.
Help him find a lady of a black forge. That's interesting.
The very first song that Uncle Jeb come up with was Forging the Steel of Love.
I have sent Steve those songs, by the way. He has those in his email right now.
Yeah, and the other one was, what was it?
Tongues of Temptation.
Tongues of Temptation.
Oh, tongs of sense.
Not tongs. It would have been funnier if it was thongs, but it was tongs.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to wear a thong in a forge. That might not be fun. That might.
Steve is man enough to do it.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
And there's another one called The Ballad of the Blacksmith. He said he would like to see that one put to music. So we're going to see what we can do with that one, too.
Oh, wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I still let people listen to the song that Jake wrote, and they're just amazed when they hear that song. They just like, this guy wrote that song in 40 minutes. And I go, yeah, it was while we were on the podcast talking. Next thing you know, the song was emailed to us. So, man.
He does songs all day long, and I try to listen to as many of them as I can. And he sent us a secondary song, too. It's more of a country twang. I like it. I mean, they're both great songs. And he's been a real blessing to us.
Well, he's a fun guy. The only thing that distracts me about when Jake's on the show is when he's walking around all the time. Has he ever told you why he walks around while he's on the podcast?
He's never said. I think it's just nerves.
Nervous, huh?
Nervous. Yeah.
Nice young man, though. I love his music, and everybody I've shared his song with have just been amazed about the song and I'm currently working on. When I walk, I sometimes will play the song just to listen to it. And I'm trying to create video of things that are said on the song so that when I go back and recreate the new video, it's exclusively AT footage that would be more specific to the words in the song.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to eventually doing that one night when I think I've got enough footage and doing it. And so, but like I said, if you see him, tell him his song is still being loved by a lot of people out there.
I'll tell him. I talk to him about every day. We either talk. In fact, today he had a live, and I went in that live for a few minutes, and we talked for a few minutes in his live. But we're either emailing or going, or he'll come in here. But we talk just about every day, so I'll let him know.
All right. Well, you take care, gentlemen, and we'll talk probably next week sometime, and you know, I'll find out how healthy I've become after. I don't know if I told you, I did weigh myself at my last hostel. I'm down 20 pounds.
I bet you're down more than that by now, because that was a week or two ago.
Well, the problem is that when you come into these places like today, when you have an all you can eat buffet, as long as you don't catch me on the moment after I've eaten at the all you can eat buffet, uh, but yeah, I'm feeling really good. As the weight goes down, I feel like I'm getting stronger, and definitely climbing hills has become easier on me. So, I always tell people, if you're a couch potato and you don't want to be one, get out here on the AT.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right, gentlemen, you take care. I'm gonna find some nice bed to lay in and lay flat, because the last few nights I've been on the trail, I haven't seemed to manage to find a flat spot for my tent. And when you're sliding around in your tent, it's just no fun. So, but thank you again, and you guys be safe, and keep doing what you're doing. So,
Thank you,
All right,
sir. We
brother. You
appreciate
put one
that.
foot in front of the other. You got
Yeah.
this, sir.
yes, sir. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Be safe.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes. I really appreciate what he's doing and why he's doing it. And man, hey, I got just a southern thought for you that's kind of hit me this evening, and I need to share it with all of my southern friends out there, all the husbands and all the boyfriends and everything. And I just want to remind y'all that there's nothing quite like it when your sweetheart looks you dead in the eye and tells you those three beautiful, magical words. Let's go fishing. It's beautiful. Just saying. Those three magical, beautiful words. It's been a long time since I've had a woman look me dead in the eye and say, "Let's go fishing."
I figured they would look at you and say, don't you need to go fishing?
There's too many words, Dave.
Try to get you out of the house, tell you to go fishing.
I'm not saying those words have not been said to me, but that's too many words. I said three magical words. Uh, uh.
I have never heard that in my life because my wife does not care to go
Oh,
fishing and never has.
okay. Uh. Well,
Now,
you were
now,
born up north.
now, yeah, but I was raised in the South, dude. Come on, I don't remember what the North was like. Come on, man. She's as country is. So,
Yeah. Uh. Very said my wife and daughter hate fish.
oh, my wife likes fish, but
Look,
she likes them from the big Captain D's.
hey. We don't promote hate on this show, Barry. Come on now. Can't be hating on fish. Fish have feelings.
Fish have feelings, but yet you're yanking a hook through its mouth. That
Hey,
that
when you
that
go to
don't
the dentist, the first thing they grab is an iron hook. Get
that
off
that
me.
that don't compute. Oh, poor fish, you have feelings.
Yeah. Hey, I put them back.
Oh, after you've ripped his gill.
I'm gonna rip his gills out, dude. Barry says, I used to fish all the time on the Coosa River and Lake Altoona. Uh, what'd you fish for, Barry? If you come back in with some smart aleck answer like fish, you've had it. Oh, I mean, what kind of fish? Uh, you were born, Barry said, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, Grady Memorial Hospital. That almost makes you a Yankee. I'm not sure on that. Dave, what do you think? He was born in Atlanta.
Yeah, but he was born in Atlanta before it turned bad like it is now.
Well, we don't know how old he is.
Oh, but I do. Pretty close.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I know Barry.
So he's like 80.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, you said back when it wasn't like it is now.
Atlanta's changed a lot since we were kids.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm playing with you, Barry. You love fishing. I love fishing. I do too, Bo. I
Now,
love to do some
and what's
raw.
funny is I'm not a huge fan of eating fish. I'll eat a little fish, but I'd rather eat the hush puppies. That's how with the fish. I'm just not a huge fan. It's not.
You've got issues. Crappie brim bass. You notice how he put the capital letter on bass. Okay. Amen, brother. I understand what you are saying. Bassing. I love catching me some bass. I'll catch them crappies too, but bass, yes. Now we talk. I may have to do some bass fishing tomorrow. No, I got too much to do. Okay. Those projects. But fishing's important. Mm. All right. So I was looking at something earlier, but Dave, I know you got stuff you want to cover tonight too. Go ahead and cover your stuff while I look this back up or start on it.
To cover
Oh, yeah.
stuff? I really don't have anything. I don't want, I come into the night show not wanting to say one thing about politics or news, but I will cover one thing. I don't know. I'm just in a mood. It's been a tough week, and
I understand.
sometimes you just gotta let your brain take a break. I'll be doing news Sunday night, so I just thought, for me, I don't care if we do. I just said for me, I'm not going to. But what I want to cover is idiot drivers.
Let's preach on it, brother.
I actually had this happen today. As I was coming back, Kaylee wanted me to take her and her friend from school up to Raising Cane's, so I run them up there. Anyway, we're back down there we're not too far from home, and we're, it's rush hour. I mean, it's packed. And so you got double lanes, going each way, and a turning lane.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting in a turning lane waiting for the light to turn green. There's about 3 cars in front of me at the lot. And on my left, a car pulls up and stops right beside me, facing the same direction. And I'm looking over and I'm like, what in the world is this guy doing? Like, dude, he's sitting in the other lane, like he's facing oncoming traffic. And thankfully, there's nowhere for him to go. He thinks he's in the turning lane, dude. Thankfully, the light turned. We got the arrow, and the cars in front of me began to turn. Well, he gets up there like he's turning right with them, like it's a one-way, dude. Like, what in the world? I mean, are you on dope? Are you that stupid? I've never seen nothing like that in my life. And I'm sitting here, and it didn't compute for like 2 seconds. I'm like, what? There's a guy sitting right beside me, man. I'm like, he could have got killed.
Yeah.
Just totally.
Was it like an older guy or?
I'm trying to be nice here. It was an older guy, but he looked. Well, you just never know by a look.
Yeah.
We'll just say he looked like he didn't know how to drive, because later on he got real confused turning, and I'm not talking about an older guy who's having old age issues. He looked like to me a guy who just didn't know how to drive. He didn't know laws. He didn't know how to drive according to the laws of America. He looked like a guy that might not have been here too long. He just got in. I'll just say it that way.
Okay.
And I've seen a lot of that lately. People that don't have any sense of how you're supposed to drive in America.
Yes. And while we, yeah, while we on that topic, when you come up to a four-way stop sign here in South Georgia, y'all quit waving people. When it's your turn to go, just go. If you're the first one there, you've got the right of way. Quit waving everybody else ahead of you. Don't be nice. Let us go our turn. You're going to call, because then you're going to end up, you go, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. Next thing you know, you got a head-on collision at a four-way stop.
I will throw one disclaimer into that. Sometimes when you look, you know it's your turn, but there's always one driver that you look at, and you could look. It's a look in their eye. You know, as soon as you pull off, they're gonna floor it because they're stupid.
Yes, they're trying to punk you out. They're gonna start moving as soon as you go. Oh, I'm going next. No, that's not the way it works. You don't pick when you go. What the take turn? It's common courtesy, but quit waving people on. You'll sit there for 30 minutes at a four-way stop sign because two old coots, probably named Uncle Jeb and JJ, are trying to wave you on. Quit it. That's why they brought stupid roundabouts into this country. It's because of y'all. Just saying.
Maybe I'll just need to have some more roundabouts. I mean,
Oh my God.
it might help.
Can you imagine Uncle Jeb if there's about one more roundabout down here?
Well, it wouldn't help him. I mean, it just wouldn't help him. He's he's already had to go to court on a roundabout. I mean, that's all he did was roundabout. Have a guy drive vertical.
Yes, the roundabouts are awful. I mean, and I'm gonna throw out a gripe here too about Atlanta. I remember years ago, I used to be in a fish store. We was driving to Atlanta to pick up some fish, me and a good buddy of mine. And we was in the buddy lane, the carpool lane, because there was two of us in the vehicle. We was in there legally. And we're driving down 75 and we're looking for our exit for the airport. How come is it you got exits for everything in the buddy lane except for the airport? Oh my gosh, does no one go down 75 to get to the dad blank airport? Oh, you got one for me, I'm okay. You got one for this, you got one for that. He says, is there an exit for the airport on this? There's got to be. And as we were approaching the exit for the airport, we realized there was not. And at about 7:45 in the morning, there at Atlanta rush hour traffic, we happened to look back and there was one hole. And I made it all the way across to get that exit. I only curved the bumper a little bit. But yeah, why not have an exit for the airport and the buddy lane? Either.
I gotta ask, when did it get called the buddy lane? I mean, it sounds like Buddy the Elf. When did the carpool line or the whatever I never heard it referred to as the buddy lane.
Well,
is it?
You've never heard of the buddy lane?
No, I never heard it called the buddy lane. And I'm trying to figure out because you said the expression "good buddy," and I'm trying to figure out is it good buddy or just a good friend? Because there's good buddy. You got to be careful with that. And then you said the buddy lane, and it is Atlanta. So I'm just trying to figure this out, man. I mean, you've kind of thrown me off here a little bit.
Okay. You know who this person was that was riding with me. If you give me too much trouble, I'm going to tell him. And he'll be on here and on you. You don't want that, sir.
I know who you're talking about.
Number one.
But you said good buddy.
Number two. They call it the buddy lane because that's what the single people call it when they put the little mannequin dummy up in their passenger seat so they could drive in it. And they call him Buddy. The buddy lane.
I never heard it called the buddy lane.
Well, you have now. And yes, Barry, Satan did create the roundabouts. And he also said in North Georgia, we have these roundabouts seatbelts. They run right about here over your belly. Your round belly. I got you. I see what you did there. That was good.
Well, you know what a lot of people do? They just fasten them behind them and sit on them. I mean, that's.
Man, I wouldn't want that seatbelt sticking me in the buttocks. What the?
I can't tell you as a security officer how many cars I've gotten into. I've followed people that drive for security, and that's the way I find it a lot of the time. And I've never done that. I've never done that. It'd be
You
plus it's stupid. I mean, come on. Was it Joe Biden?
What? They think the officer's not going to. Well, how would the officer even notice it unless he pulled right up beside you?
Maybe not. They just do it so they got those beepers in those cars.
Yeah.
They just annoy you every few seconds.
But I mean, coming up behind you, it would look like because that strap would still be going in behind you.
By the way, I love my truck. That I bought. I love it, but it has one weird quirk, and it baffles me why they would do that. If you're sitting in the truck,
yeah,
and it's running, and you
Yeah.
don't have the seatbelt on, it's not in drive, it's not in reverse, it's in park. It will go off every few seconds until you put it on sitting. You're not moving. You're not even pulled out. Most cars won't do that till you get into drive and then they'll start.
that is thanks to liberals, Dave. Thanks to liberals, they have done that to you. This is part of the grand plan to drive conservatives crazy, slowly over time. They keep putting these stupid regulations in on our vehicles, and that's just the beginning, sir. That's just the beginning.
Oh, I know. I mean, like if you're sitting sometimes I just like to go somewhere, go through the drive-through, get it, and sit in the parking lot. But it's either too hot or too cold, so you keep the engine running, and heater, cool, air conditioner. Who wants to have the seatbelt on while you're trying to eat? You want to relax a little bit. You're in a parking lot. Jacklegs. I mean, why in the world would you do that?
Let me tell you something else they're going to start doing. On the gas caps, on your vehicle, there's going to be a warning label on there or instructions on it. It says, remove gas cap and insert gas nozzle to put gas in vehicle. That's going to be there. And it's going to annoy the snot out of you, too. You're going to be like, what dumb tried to do that?
I think if liberals had stayed in office before long, anybody that drove a gas-powered car would probably gotten a stiff penalty for it, and they would have set up all the gas stations as, place recharging stations. There'd be one little fill-up place over here for all the people that insist on to continue to drive gasoline or diesel-powered engines to try to penalize them. I think that's what they would have done because they're idiots.
You know what? I'm glad they gone. If that mess had kept on much longer, I'd have pulled my hair out. Wait a minute. Too late. Okay, so when that thing started, I had a full head of hair.
I figured Uncle Jeb made you pull your hair out. I mean,
No, Joe Biden made me pull my hair out. And Nancy Pelosi. They made me pull my hair slap out. Made me wish AOC could grow a beard. I don't know. But we got to keep talking on this driving thing because I'm gonna tell you something. When Southerners get out there and drive, they let manners just get too much into it. Okay, there's just too much. Yeah, number one, the finger thing. We need to stop that. When you're driving down the road, you got your hand thrown up on the steering wheel. One hand, one finger, two fingers, three fingers, four fingers. Your whole hand. All right. That needs to stop. It's distracting. Okay. We don't need to do that anymore. Okay. Because that just leads to, You throw four fingers up, how's your mama and them? You just ask them a question. Now they're going to call you on their cell phone. And your phone's going to be ringing because they know who you are, especially down here in Miller County. And now you're going to be distracted driving, talking on your cell phone while you're going down the road. Dangerous when it quits. And how is it distracting to have your phone in your hand? Okay. Most people drive one-handed. I know everybody does here in South Georgia, especially the farmers, because they got one arm hanging out the window, while they're driving along, or, they got an arm hanging out the window. Why is that, versus having that Bluetooth thing go off on your car speakers or holding your phone in your, what's the difference? You're still driving one-handed.
If you were to give a test to the drivers of America,
Yeah.
and those have, unless they just got their license, make it, they've had their license at least 5 years. And
Okay.
if you were to give them send them a test and ask them to, answer some questions about how you drive, what's a percentage you think of people in America would fail that test?
80%.
Without a doubt. Without
80%.
a doubt. They absolutely do. Most people driving don't have a clue.
If they answered the questions honestly, 80% would fail.
Yeah.
That's the key. If they answered the questions honestly. And how many of you parents are out there teaching your kids how to drive, and you say something like, well, do as I say, not as I do? Aren't you supposed to have both hands on the wheel at 10 and 2? Hey, you do as I say, not as I do, okay? Both hands on the wheel, mama. I've got both hands on the wheel. I can't put my makeup on with just one hand. Come on now. I can put it on one hand.
What's a percentage you figure of drivers in America that are putting two hands on the wheel to drive?
At all times? 3%.
I'd say it's less than that.
I'd agree with you.
It's probably less than 1%.
Okay. What do you think the percentage of Americans out there driving actually stop at a stop sign, and how many do you think slow down and roll through?
Oh, it's just about everybody slows down and rolls through. I've seen this today too. A dump truck, a freaking dump truck, dude, blowed through a stop sign because he saw an open and he didn't want to wait. So it's a dump truck. So he had to turn right. So he blocks like both sides of traffic while he's trying to. I mean, he's got this thing's all over. I mean, because I think he hit the curb. I mean, he just floored it. He never even attempted to slow down. He looked out there and saw he had a path. He just took it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
See there. Yeah, don't put both hands on the wheel. But she says she does stop most of the time. It's not counted as a stop unless you feel the back end drop. Just saying. Then it's a stop.
Good for you, Barry. Good for you.
Yes.
I'll give you another one. How many people driving that go to Walmart, two things, drive down the lanes instead of across all the empty parking spaces, and drive the speed limit in the Walmart parking lot? It does have a speed limit posted. How many you figure?
5 or 10 miles an hour?
Yeah.
And how many people? Now, wait a minute. Is it illegal to cut across the lanes if there's nobody parked there?
Well, sure it is.
Really?
You're supposed to go up and down the lane.
I'm not driving all the way to the end of the lane if the back 2/3 of the lane is empty. I'm turning.
Because when you're driving across them, you're crossing traffic where people are driving down the lane the correct way. You're driving across that traffic.
I'm not talking about driving the whole thing. I'm talking about driving down one lane, turning and going back up the other lane.
If
See
it's
what
the
I'm saying?
right, if you're in the lane and it's the
Yeah.
right direction,
Yeah.
you should do that.
Okay. But
But
I'm
you
not
don't-
driving all the way to the end of the lane if the whole back 2/3 of that line is empty.
Well, that'd be illegal.
Okay. Write me a ticket. I don't drive anymore anyway. But I had to ride. Just saying. I would say, just on my personal experience, I'd have to say it's less than 1%.
And how many people do you figure? Oh yeah, it's a low number. How many people do you figure think, believe in their heart and in their brain that it is legal to drive 5 miles and over the speed limit? 5 miles
Oh,
over.
all of them. All of them. 100%. They probably think it's illegal to drive less than 5 miles an hour over the speed limit.
Yeah, people will say, hey, the speed limit is 60. I mean, if they're going 50, 54, oh, people get mad. You can go 60.
I have actually heard a police officer, and I'm not going to call any name. I've heard a police officer say he will not pull you over unless you were going at least 11 miles over the speed limit.
That depends on a lot of variables, situations.
Well, yeah. But that's what he said, you know.
Well, I'm not saying him. I'm saying for all officers. Do
Yeah.
you believe there's a quota that they're supposed to write for tickets?
Everyone that I've seen says no. I believe in my heart there is. It's probably one of those unwritten things, you know, unwritten.
I mean, you feel if you were out, if you're an officer and you're out and you don't have hardly any, hadn't written any tickets, you figure somebody's going to say something somewhere. I do.
Yeah.
Like, hey, there's a lot of people breaking the law out there. Your tickets are kind of down.
I just say, you know, do you think in your heart of hearts that one-way streets are stupid?
In most cases, yes. In most cases. There
I
are
agree.
examples that I could think
Like
of.
a town square. I can see a one-way street around a town square.
Yeah.
Okay. But beyond that,
All right, let me ask you a tough question, big boy.
okay.
It's tough now.
You lay it on me.
Are you scared?
No.
Because here it is.
I'll either get it right or I'll get it wrong. I ain't scared.
It's not really an either or. It's
Okay.
You better watch your step. Do you think that men are better drivers than women?
Hell yes. No fear. Hell yes. Come on, Jenneth, lay it out there. I ain't scared. Put it out there. Hell yes, men are better drivers than women.
Hey, Lynn,
hell yeah. Hell to the yeah. We are, and I can prove it. Now, women would make better stunt drivers than men. Because if you could drive a vehicle and apply makeup and talk on the phone and might smear your lipstick all at the same time, you a stunt driver.
all I'll say is this. Whenever we meet a stupid driver.
You're chicken shit. Say your honest feelings on it.
No. Lynn says, I'll say, that driver's an idiot. And Lynn has been with me so long. I mean, we've been married almost 40 years, and she'll say, don't say it, David. Don't say it. Don't say it's probably a woman. I'll say, okay, I won't say it. And we drive by the offender, and we'll both look over, and I'll see it's a woman, and she'll just start shaking her head. I'm like, what do you say? Jenna says I don't wear makeup.
Okay. Well, let me put it this way.
I
got
love all you
right
women.
here.
I love you.
We love you, but here's the thing. If you could drive a car or a vehicle and talk on the cell phone and corral 3 cats at the same time while you're going to the vet, that's a stunt driver.
True, Barry. True.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you another question. Since we've already stepped over the cliff here.
Oh, we have.
When you're in a parking lot and you see a bunch of drivers backed in, do you think any of those are women, or is it all guys that's backed in?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It's guys. It's guys every time. Women
don't
can't
like
back up nothing, huh?
Well, I'm going to be kinder and say they don't like to back up.
Okay, whatever.
They might pull through and be faced that way. They won't back up. Most women won't do it.
Yeah, okay. You want to put a percentage on that?
Of what? That
won't do it.
That's kind of hard because how many can do it? Or
you have opened a can of worms.
Now, see, what I was going to say is that there's those women who can and won't, because they don't like it, and then there's the women who can't. They just can't back up.
Okay. Give me a percentage on how many women you think can parallel park.
Oh, man.
Very scared. Very scared.
I'm going to say it's probably 90-10, man. Not 90% who can't and 10% who can. They don't. Every female that I've talked to has said, when they went to take their test, I hope they don't make me parallel park.
That's it.
That's true. Lewis says 5%. Miss
I'm
Jenna,
agreeing with Lewis.
I know you can. She's in that 10% of those who can.
She's in that 5%.
Now, there are some guys. There are some guys who can't do it either. I don't think Joe Biden can.
They don't let him drive. I don't think he's got parallel parks his wheelchair, and hell, that's easy. He can't even do that. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Do you figure that most because we're all on the go, we're all busy. Do you figure that most Americans who drive, the driver, are eating in the car on the go instead of stopping somewhere to eat? They're eating while they're going down the road.
Yes.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah. Either they're eating fast food or they're eating junk food or whatever, but they're eating going down the road.
Yeah.
They are. Okay.
And do you think anybody is obeying the cell phone policy of driving?
No.
Now in Georgia, that's not just not looking at your phone. You're not even supposed to have it resting on your leg. You can set it, and even at a stoplight, you're not supposed to pick it up. I tell you, that's a very small figure. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it's less than 1%.
Yeah, sadly, but it's true.
How many of those people do you think are actually texting while they're driving?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh.
We got in her wheelhouse.
Yeah. Got in a wheelhouse with the cats going to the vet, too.
How many times have you had to honk your horn at somebody that was they never knew the light changed?
Oh, a ton of times. And I'm not one of those that just goes, eh. I just put my hand on the horn and I don't let off till they go. Bang. Oh, I get the finger a lot. Taking a cat to the vet tomorrow. See right there. Boom. Boom. You're gonna be talking on the cell phone. What time you take cat to the vet? We gotta get somebody to call you about that time where you're driving down the road talking on the cell phone, corralling the cat, and going to the vet at the same time. See? Mm-hmm. You got a parallel park at the vets. You got a parallel park when you get to the vets. That cat may not survive this trip. What's new, kitty cat? Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you have to back in to unload the cat? I'm just saying,
How many drivers have you seen run over the planter at the Walmarts that have them with the trees? I mean, like up and over, like it's an off-road course.
Mm.
They run all over those things, man. I see it all the time.
Yeah, I've seen them do that. How many people do you think out there can honestly answer the question with a negative? With like, I have never backed into a light pole in a parking lot.
My wife has hit a telephone pole backing up.
Okay.
She don't like to back up a car.
Okay.
She don't.
I think that's going to be a relatively small number. I've never done it either, but I'm just saying, I've seen it happen a bunch. Hey, Lewis did once younger. Kenneth hasn't. I'd say that number's at least 50%.
How many people have you seen at the Walmart driving the little smart cart and you wondered, my God, I hope they didn't drive here? Because as bad as they're driving that thing, they go kill somebody.
And then we'll tell you something. People that drive them little smart cars that pull all the way into the lane and fill up, go all the way to the front of the parking space. I don't like you. Because when I'm going down the lane looking for a place to park, I'm looking ahead for that empty spot, And I see that empty spot and I get up my speed and I fix the whoop in there and there's this little STEM smart car that you can't see till you're about 2 feet away from it. What the heck? You knuckleheads. Leave it in the back so we can see it when we're looking for a parking place.
And hey, I like big trucks. I not no problem with them. But every manufacturer of a big truck should have it so their mirrors fold in when you're going in a store. Because some of them jacklegs got mirrors that stretch all the way to the edge of the parking space, and you will kill yourself trying to get to your car.
Wow. Dave, Miss Elizabeth's in here now too. Do you want to say that?
Say what?
You want to talk about women drivers now? Come on. You and Lynn be driving down the road, you'll be somebody acting a fool up there, and you'd be like, Lynn be like, don't say it's a woman driver. And you pull up there, you look over, sure enough, it's a woman driver. Come on, let's hear it. Let's hear it now.
It happens all the time.
We're not gonna bring up nothing I said.
Yeah, right. He's up there. You done did the Thelma and Louise off the cliff, man. I mean, come on.
You notice for that commercial, that scene though, it had to be two women. Oh, they was on their way to Walmart, dude. They just ran over the planter in the parking lot.
If you look over, and
that's how they got airborne, dude.
No, if you look over in the car next to you at a stoplight,
yeah,
and it's an older lady with a beehive, her hair up with a beehive, and she's up on that wheel like this right here. Do you try to get away from that, or you're comfortable riding with it side by side?
I'm either going a lot faster than her or a lot slower than her. Thank you. See? See, Dave asked me if I thought women were better drivers than men. I said, "Oh hell no! What do you
See
mean
you,
you
Miss
got to
Gypsy.
go?"
But I will say, if I look over and I see a dude and it looks like he's laying down, I don't feel any good about that either.
No, I don't either.
I mean,
I don't.
because you can't even see them; they're laying down in
No,
the seat.
no. Oh, you got to go away from the old woman. I don't blame you. It scared the snot out of me too. I mean,
I mean,
because you never know when the nursing home lets out. Yeah, I mean, they may have a day pass,
they
and
will
they're
run
used to
over
riding
you.
the rascals, huh?
They will run over you.
Yes, they will, in a heartbeat. Them old women out there, they ain't got no mercy on nobody. They know they don't have that much longer left to live, and they are in a hurry to make sure they get all their stuff done. They will run your ass over. Okay, I'm just saying. And if there's an old man driving with an old woman sitting beside him, he will run your ass over too. Because she's sitting right there bitching about his driving the whole time. And he's trying to hurry up and get there so she'll be quiet.
If I see an old man whose pants are drooping off of him, his zipper's undone, and his shirt's untucked, I'm not getting anywhere near that dude.
No,
No way.
no,
No
I'm running
way.
away from Joe Biden. Oh, you're right, Judith. Old men don't drive it. Don't drive good either. They're scary as
No.
shit too. Uh, uh. Okay. Let me ask you this: would you rather see the old woman or the old man, either one, in the car beside you, or me, who's an epileptic? Who would you try to get away from first?
Probably old man. As long as you get out of the old lady's way, you're okay because she's gonna go. The old
Yeah.
guy, he's just gonna run
No,
over
no,
you.
no, 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 no. You just put me in the old guy category. Quit it. I said old man or an old lady, either one, or me, who is an epileptic. Who and you knew I was an epileptic. Who would you rather have driving beside you?
I wouldn't want them to. I'd rather have you because that's yours is could be any time, but theirs is guaranteed to be a disaster.
You're gonna roll the dice. Uh, I've seen experience. I have experienced the opposite. Old men driving with old women, and they are going so slow. You know why? You know why the old man is driving so slow? It's because the old woman's going, "You're going too fast. Slow down. Slow down. We gonna die."
And I have to say, there's a special kind of stupid that when you're going down a road and the person stops in the drive lane instead of the turn lane with their blinker on to turn. That
Yes.
is a special kind of stupid.
And I'm gonna tell you another special kind of stupid. Okay, and I have seen this. Oh my gosh, getting on an on ramp to get on merge onto the interstate, drive to the end of the on ramp and stop. What a absolute moronic, stupid. Oh, that's why we ought to have those snowplow things on the front of vehicles. And it should be legal. When they do that, just push them out of the dad blame way. Uh, it's for merging into traffic. There's no stop sign. There's no nothing. There's nothing keeping you from stopping but your own stupidity. Keep going. If you ain't got room to merge, speed up, slow down, get on the shoulder, but clear the dad blame ramp. Oh, moron. Did I say that out loud? Did I just call moron? Oh. This is why we should never have outlawed lawn darts. And quit with the warning labels. All right. Let natural selection take over, dude. I mean, come on. They're too dumb. Miss Elizabeth was right. We have dumbed ourselves down so much we can't do nothing. I mean, we got warning labels on everything. We need to take them off. Like on gas cans, do not drink. We need to take that one off for damn sure. You get a mouthful of gas and you swallow, there's something wrong. Yes. I've seen that happen, Lewis. You know,
Hey, Killer Carl. Killer Carl's over on the Rumble Studio side.
hi there,
Appreciate
Killer Carl. Glad
Appreciate
you're
you,
here with
brother.
Oh,
By the
Lord.
way, Killer Carl's been gracious enough to ask me to come on tomorrow night, his program. So tune in. It's always entertaining. Killer Carl's show is awesome.
Well, you won't know because I'm not going to tell you, Barry.
Oh,
You're just going to have to roll the dice. Well, I
so
don't-
if
I
you
don't
were
drive,
going,
so-
here's a question for you. If you were going down the road and you look up in the rearview mirror and you realize there's a car, I mean, right, you can't see their grill. They're right
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
And you look back and you look at that driver and you've got three choices. And one of them's Joe Biden, and one of them's Nancy Pelosi, and one of them is Adam Schiff. Which one of those three is the least that scares you?
At that point, it's usually not me that needs to be scared. It's them. Because if I can't see the grill and I, for some reason, am driving, I will apply brakes quickly and hard. We wrote three. We had three songs for Steve.
Yes. And we sent those to him, and we're going to do one more for the Ballad of the Blacksmith.
You would get off at the next exit. You know, I think Nancy Pelosi, if you ever stopped and she could catch you or whatever, she would suck the soul out of your body through your ears or something.
This is from Killer Carl.
Well, you know, Pelosi's been drinking so much, so that's scary. But you know, Joe Biden doesn't have his marbles, so that's even scarier. That's a tough one. Well, you
It
know,
is-
and
it
you
is
have
tough.
to think. You have to think too, Killer Carl. As weak as Adam Schiff's neck is, can it support his head long enough to get around you or whatever? I mean, he's going to get whiplash. He's doing anything. So, you know, he can't even hold his head up. I mean, it tips to the side, you know, when he's driving. Sorry. I should talk.
I told you that I came up as security. I came up on a lady. She claimed she was one of the sovereign citizens, you know.
Yeah.
And she said to me, "You're lucky." And I said, "She's in a parking lot behind the store in the shade reading a book. I didn't know. My job's to check on them." She said, "You're lucky." And I said, "Well, what do you mean I'm lucky?" She said, "I could have blowed you away. And they couldn't have done nothing to me. I'm a sovereign citizen." I don't think that's the way it works, lady.
That's not the way it works, people. Oh my God. This whole sovereign, you still have to obey the freaking law. We're all sovereign citizens. That same rules apply to us too, you knucklehead.
Sovereign citizen.
Duh.
I got you, sovereign citizen. Shut up.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's the people that you do worry about carrying weapons because
Yeah.
they have no idea what they're doing. You're lucky.
You're lucky. No, you're lucky.
She said, What do you think you're doing walking up on my car looking in here? I said, Well, I got to find out what's going on. Ain't none of your business. Well, yeah, it kind of is. It's private property.
Yeah.
You're behind the store. You're not out in front with the parking spaces.
Well, I'm a sovereign citizen. Well, how about you leave then and go sovereign your citizen somewhere else? Is it sovereign citizen at that point, or is it Slavian citizen at that point? Or slobbering citizen at that point? I don't know. Oh my gosh.
I love it.
All right. Well, y'all, we've run over a little bit, but we had a good topic. And we're gonna have to come back and revisit this topic on how men are better drivers than women.
And
we're not going to ask the question next time. We're just going to take it right from the top. Men are better drivers.
And I'm going to throw out there because you mentioned it earlier. When we bring this topic up next time, maybe next week, do you think that there's more women putting on makeup now, or men, or what is supposed to be a man?
Depends on the state. If it's California, the men are outnumbered the women. Depending upon where you're at in Georgia, we still got women outnumbering the men. Depending upon where you're at. If you're in Atlanta, it's kind of iffy. Doesn't matter. It's dangerous either way. We don't care who's putting it on. Whether it be men or women, we don't care. It's still dangerous. Don't do it.
Inquiring minds want to know also next time, if you get pulled over and the officer that gets out of the car is a female or a male, which one concerns you more?
Female. You make her get out of that damn blank car and walk up there, your butt's going to jail. Or you're getting a ticket. Either way.
I saw a video.
Or you're going to jail.
I saw a video, I think it was on TikTok, I don't remember. A female officer got mad at a female because she wouldn't get out of the car. When she finally got out of the car, she just waylaid her in the head. I mean, a bunch of times. Full on fist, slapping her. She done got mad. Oh, it's been
I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. I ain't seen many women that don't get mad at people from time to time. But there's a certain time when it would be way worse to have a female cop versus a man cop. Special time, sensitive time, if y'all get my meaning there. And if she is in a raging fit of hormones, that's been used as a defense for murder. Okay? And she's packing heat, and you don't know that she's in a raging fit of hormones, and you try to be funny, and you get your butt shot. I'm just saying. You know how fast you were going? Apparently not fast enough.
You're on your own here, dude. I'm bailing out.
If you caught me, apparently I wasn't going fast enough, man. Boom.
Oh. It's good to end the show with a laugh.
Yes. And before we get any further in the hole, y'all have a great night.
And we're already in there.
Deep. You started this.
Oh my gosh.
You were just trying to get me in trouble. I know what you was trying to do, and it worked. I'm sure.
Well, you're the one that just come flat out. I mean, like, well, heck yeah.
You said you asked if I thought women were better drivers than men. I said, oh, hell no. Just saying.
I gave you a chance to dance around it. You just went right for the jugular, like, oh. Yeah.
Okay, I have one name left to throw out at you then on women being better if women are better drivers than men. Danica Patrick. Y'all have a good night. How many races did she win again? In NASCAR? Enough said. y'all are prettier, but you know, we're better at driving. Sorry.
You better watch yourself.
Y'all have a great night. Send any hate mail to Southern Fried Podcast at yahoo.com, ladies, and we'll be sure to answer it.
The waters of the Southern Fried River might be a little stirred up right now.
I'm pretty sure they are. Oh, stay away from the Swanee. All right. Y'all have a great night.
We'll see you in the morning. Southern Fried MAGA Show.
Oh,
10 a.m.
oh.
Watch Killer Carb tomorrow night. I think he comes on about 7:30.
Yep.
7:30 around in there on the Rumble channel.
Joe. And in honor of Steve, let's end with this one. Miss Elizabeth, don't leave yet.
The forge is burning red and bright. Sparks fly off into the night. Hammer strikes, a rhythm true, but it ain't the steel that's burning through. Her shadow falls across my door. Through the heat I crave her more. The iron groans beneath my hand, but it's her touch I can't withstand. Tongues of temptation pulling me near. Her fire's a flame I can't help but fear. Though my heart's an anvil, heavy and strong. With the tongues of temptation, it won't be for long. Her dress is rustling like a breeze. Shivers crawl up past my knees. Her eyes cut deeper than the blade. In her gaze my soul's betrayed. The bellows sigh, the embers glow. My will fades with each shadow show. A blacksmith's strength won't shield my name from the white-hot heat inside this flame. Tongues of temptation pulling me near. Her fire's a flame I can't help but fear. Though my heart's an anvil, heavy and strong. With the tongues of temptation,